So I'm going to be honest, I'm in a bit of a time crunch, but I could not wait to record this. So, um, yesterday I posted part one, the Embodied Law of Attraction journal, and it was listing desires. And today I'm posting the second part. It is about desires versus goals. And the journal argues that when manifesting, at least in the ecstatic manifestation or embodied law of attraction way, you want to focus on desires rather than goals. And goals are really finite. Once you reach them, it's easy to just let them dissipate, along with any of the gains or whatever that you may think that you received. And it's really that's more of a mental construct. That's not really true. But that's why leaning into desire. And I have a funny story about this. When I was 21, I worked at a gym and I had before that gained some weight through like Depo-Provera and like very rapidly had gained weight. And so I go and I'm working in this gym and I'm excited to lose weight. And I said, I want to look so good that so and so, who is the manager of the gym, like compliments me because he was kind of a prick and really, really judgmental. And I was like working out and I was drinking ephedrine drinks and I was doing all the crazy shit you do when you work in a gym and everybody's obsessed with how their body looks. And one day, the manager, Pearson was his name, was like, "Wow, you look good." And I was like, "Thanks." And then I started gaining weight. It was so funny. And my body changed again. And I mean, it's funny to me now. I think at the time it was not, but I hit the mark and then I didn't, I mean, it wasn't even like a conscious thing, but I hit the mark and then, that was it. Desire, though, comes from like, what do you want to be feeling and what do you want to be experiencing? And that is something that you can keep leaning into over and over and over again. And it's it's also something that you can experience without the external thing being validated or the external thing coming into manifestation. So it's very important. And it's also hilarious because when I was saying in the recording yesterday that I knew was coming and I thought it was funny the way my desires were coming through, my desires were all like number and time oriented. And I was aware of that. And I knew this step was coming. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool. Like it'll be nice to kind of, transform them into desires instead of more goals. It was hard. It was really hard. And I want to talk about that. So, and I'm experienced in this, and I'm actually maybe, sometimes this is true, like maybe I'm better at helping other people access this than I am myself. So I'm going to go through it. And really, like, this is about what do we want to experience? What do we want to feel? Like, that's going to be something you'll return to throughout the journey if you're following along or if you're watching me. And it's also an opportunity to like step into the stream of consciousness that is fulfilled. And I will tell you what that means as I go through this. So, and I didn't get through my whole list, by the way, but I feel like all of them kind of speak to the same experience at some point. My first desire that I spoke about yesterday was tripling my income. So, one of the ways to transition this from, and I say goal, like, if it could be a SMART goal, but if it's something that is related to like a number, that's going to be more goal oriented, and then transitioning it to a desire. So the way you would do that is like, why do I want this? What experience do I expect to have? What feeling do I want to have inside of this? And I stared at this one for a while and was like, why do I want to triple my income? The other thing is these number bound things are in the consciousness. And if you remember what I said yesterday, like the reason my work works is because it gets your consciousness, your emotions, and your physical body in congruence. So if you can't get to like the experience you want to have or the feeling that you want to have, you're missing a lot of power to magnetize this stuff. So give this, like, this is a really important piece of the puzzle here. So if you struggle with it too, give yourself an opportunity to let it come through you. Secure. I want to feel secure. I want to feel overflow. I love the feeling of having things on auto pay. I have a few things on auto pay right now, and I'm like, they're just done. And that was kind of the feeling I got to, is like things being taken care of without me having to keep efforting them into being taken care of, like the same things over and over again. Like, I like them just being taken care of, and I know that they are, and it's good. And then I can focus on other stuff. And I want to just say something about that right now because, and this will come later, but that feeling of things just being taken care of, like there are other ways I can bring that to myself. Like that's juicy. I feel like tingles in myself when I let myself sink into that a little bit more. Like, you know, I'm hiring a dog walker for my dog for 2 days a week, just because I want her to be more entertained. Like I can do it, but I want her to have a little more time on the days that I'm working. And I want somebody who will just be there. Like I don't have to manage it. I don't want to have to keep managing the same shit. So the desire is for things to be held, for things in my life to be held. And at some point, like I get to be held also. And I'm okay putting money towards those things. That feels fine for me. I actually like that. I like when I can do that. I like when I can put money towards those things that take care of me. And things can be on auto repeat and they don't have to keep being in the front of my mind, and I don't have to put reminders on my phone or, be in the schedule all the time. Like, oh, that just it's flow. Like I'm getting myself even deeper than I did in my writing. Like it's flow. That's what I want. I want flow. And I am a detail-oriented person, but and I keep saying this because it keeps being the thing that's coming up, but like managing the same details repeatedly is inefficient. It's tiresome. So like having those details managed so that I can start moving toward like my, creative purposes and my yummy purposes. And I've been making candles and like doing weird shit like that. And, like get an office where I can have my little crafty area set up, and that feels good. So I got somewhere, right? So that was where that one came, that was where that one went. And then I'll just do one more, because these are really the two probably biggest things. So I'm talking about money and I'm talking about purpose, but like being able to do my work and like make money from it. So that money part, like that's a huge part of that. And then as far as teaching, like I spoke to, teaching something every 2 weeks and then having an intensive and da 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 da. Again, that's like from my brain. My brain's like, I know I like this, and that's cool. Like my brain's good, but I want to connect to it deeper than that. So like, what am I trying to experience? What do I want to feel? And I mean, I've done it before, not in the like, um, I haven't brought in as much money as I desire yet, but I have done that work before. And it is the thing I love about it is the reciprocal energy of it. I love that. And when I'm holding a class, like I think a lot, not I think, I know a lot of us have like really big energy. And women, I'm thinking of a lot of women, and we're not being held. A lot of men have big energy too, but a lot of them are being held by women. But a lot of women have a really big energy and they're like not being held. And I mean, this is maybe even the same thing I was just talking about with the other desire. But like when I'm in a classroom and I'm holding it, but like all that energy coming back to me becomes this reciprocation of energy. It's this beautiful exchange. And like sometimes I need that much energy to feel held, even though I'm the one guiding. And I love that. And I love writing curricula, and then I love bringing that into a room and like letting it change while I'm in a class and meeting the moment and sometimes tossing away something I was going to do, sometimes recreating it on the fly. So having like a structure and then letting it be malleable in the space, like that just, oh, delicious. I love that. So those two things are huge for me. Wanting things handled that I don't have to tend to all the time. And like, because that's the money one, let me just re-say it. Like not just handled, but um growing. Like I want things to be growing that I personally don't have to tend to all the time. Like maybe I, or not maybe, I did set up the structure for it. I set up the container for it. And now it gets to just be in evolution. And I can be with it in evolution, like my money. But I don't have to sit every day or week, be like, okay, I spent this much on this. I have this much in this account, and I'm going to pay for this today. And, like, let that be something that I hire someone to do. Let me get a bookkeeper or an accountant that can handle my money. And then, a financial advisor that will help my money grow and like, get me and then give me opportunities to invest in things and then let that grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And like maybe that's the same with my clients, like I get something into place and I give them the tools and then they take them and then they grow them in their lives. Like that's what I love. That's what I've experienced with people that I teach and um I'm like, here's a new perspective, here's a new opportunity, a new option, and then they take it and thrive. And I'm like, damn, you did that really well. I'm gonna leave that there. I definitely connected to some things. Because I got further than I did in my writing, I'm gonna rewrite it and just offer that opportunity to you. So if you have some desires and they're coming through as like a mental construct or an idea or a number on the scale, a number in the bank account, a number of audience members or whatever that you want to grow your business with, like get underneath that, get inside that. What do you want to feel? What do you want to experience? Why do you want that? Those are the questions. And see if you can get into that stream of consciousness that takes you higher.